Oh, Maywright again. God, why did we have him on twice? Are we that, hard up for content?
No, we're just being that helpful. We're trying to encourage him.
Oh.
We're trying to let him know that let him see this is what it's like when you hit the big time. You're going to have to be interviewed. You're going to have to be interviewed and interesting.
Unlike me. I feel bad that he's learning from us.
He's been learning from me nigh on a decade now. I think, 8 years. He's been learning from me for 8 years now.
Yeah.
9 years, yeah.
What did he learn?
I don't know.
Leave
Orlando.
Go to California.
If you learn nothing from me, learn this. Get the fuck out.
GTFO.
While you can, because if not, you may well be stuck here.
Be stuck? Yep.
Yeah. With
That's
Brad.
What happens. The power of guilt. That's my superpower is guilt. I exude guilt and...
Shame.
Yeah, so people are like, oh. They open the doors for me.
Do you ever say thank you, or do you just walk through?
I do, but sometimes I don't.
Why?
Because
that's right, bitch. Open the fucking door for me.
I don't say bitch, but I am just ready for the world to just... I don't know if you have days, but I have days where it's a struggle to do anything.
Yeah.
And speaking is sometimes difficult.
Well, here's the thing. On the days where I struggle, where it's a struggle just to do anything, I still have to come here and deal with you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You avoid me all day, all the time. You leave the house. You go to your room.
Yeah.
We never interact. Except for this.
101 episodes.
So why?
Why?
Why do we do this? Why do you put yourself through this?
I'm just trying to throw you a little encouragement.
Oh, you're making yourself feel better by tricking yourself into thinking that you're helping me.
No, I think you're beyond help.
That's the filmmaking bug. It's
Yeah.
we got to do it anyway.
So,
even if it makes us miserable.
So why don't you say thank you when someone opens the door for you?
I do most of the time. I'm just being honest that sometimes I'm so miserable that I can't communicate with people.
You know what you're doing? You're causing that person to question whether or not that person should do nice things anymore. Look, this asshole didn't even say thank you. Fuck everybody. I'm not going to open the door anymore.
Well, yeah.
It spreads like a cancer. And it starts with you, Brad. It starts with you. People's bad attitude. You know, if they come into contact with you, it's contagious.
I am unapproachable.
Okay, everybody, quiet on the set.
Film Reverie, take 101.
And action.
Hey, everybody. I'm actually in a decent mood now. As opposed to the last episode where it took me half the show to, have thoughts and words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're suffering because me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
So what is this? This is Film Reverie take 101.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I go so high? I wish that I could speak.
Okay, if we're gonna start, I guess I'll start the way we always start.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Film Reverie listeners. This is Michael Beckemeyer, and as always,
I'm the balding Ewok. I can't go low.
Yeah.
I'm the balding Ewok. That was better, right?
Say.
I gotta breathe through the bottom of my throat and say words.
In a world.
In a world.
In a world.
Ewoks are going bald. One man does a podcast about filmmaking.
One man does a podcast with half a man. So as we teased last time, we're back with our. Get this,
I don't know.
This
Who
is
is
right in
that
your
guy?
face. You gotta get that out of your face.
This is a guy that, we knew that would do films with us. So we'd be like, hey, can we just strap a camera to your chest and have you run around in the woods?
Yeah.
And pain and suffering.
Anthony Maywright, who we introed in the last episode and our 100th episode. Thank you for coming on for that. This is now 101. So there's no pomp or circumstance to this one. We're just going to get started.
Yep.
Can you be
Let's
interesting?
Let's do it, baby.
Can you
Let's
try
do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do
We're
it.
starting. We gotta rev up again.
Now,
Warm up again.
Dance, monkey, dance.
random monologue, action.
So, yeah. So
What were we talking about?
We figured out. I figured since while you were here and before you hit the road, we figured we could talk to you about something that you actually know about.
For once.
One of the few things.
For once. Something.
Is the transition to LA. So so your transition to LA, but it could be anywhere. Like you want to move to Atlanta or New York or wherever to go be. And a professional creative person, it doesn't have to be actor, but you're sort of an actor.
Sort of.
Yeah.
A lucratively unemployed actor.
Yeah. Well, that's part of being an actor.
Exactly.
But I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but I think part of being the professional thing is having suffered through getting started. If you don't have to work at it, you don't know how to respect it or appreciate it or take it seriously when something good happens. And over time, you don't really know how to brush off the low points either.
Yeah, because there's a lot of low. There's a struggle.
A majority of lows.
Yeah.
At least starting out.
You see people like J.J. Abrams or whoever who seems to have they can do whatever they want. There were, I'm sure, times of stuff not working out over and over and over again. I mean, at least that's what I'll tell myself so we don't hate J.J. Abrams. Yeah. So you decided you're an actor. Do you want to introduce yourself again?
I am Anthony Maywright.
Anthony fucking Maywright.
Anthony Maywright.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
That's all you're gonna say.
I don't like saying it.
And
It's weird to see
This is a short podcast.
your name.
scene.
You're an actor, and you decided you're gonna move out to LA at some point.
Yeah.
And you got some training, some schooling.
And I have I want to ask you about that because here's the thing. Everybody wants to be in the movies. Everybody thinks they can act or whatever or make a movie. And everyone wants to move to California. Most people don't necessarily make it. What happened within you that made you... Nice job there, sir.
Not going to be able to watch the chats.
Yeah,
If anyone has anything to
that's
say,
fine.
I'm just going to miss
We
it.
don't care. No, we sort of do, but... So, what happened that made you think, I'm different? Like, I'm not like everyone else.
Who are you to say,
Exactly.
I'm going to go and it's going to work out for me?
Yes.
You cocky motherfucker.
You almost have to. There's one thing of knowing things are going to work out, and then knowing you have the potential for things to work out. I don't know.
Well, who told you that? Who told you have potential?
Maybe
Not enough people. I guess.
So you're going out to LA for...
I guess myself.
You're going out to Los Angeles?
Who told you that? Mom told me. Mom told me that. Yeah, I mean, you have to have the most confidence in you have to have so much confidence in yourself to do something like that. Yeah. But you also have to have, humility and know that things there's always a chance it won't work out, but you're going to give everything you got for it to happen. Some people go over there and they think they know it's going to work out. But you just don't know. Like you God has a plan for everybody. So you have to give it literally your all, and you have to believe that there's something in you that it's almost that it factor. You have to believe you have that it, whatever that means. My dad would always say, why not me? When you go to an audition, having that mindset, like, why not? Why not me?
Instead of what Brad says, which is,
why me?
Why me? Yeah.
Why
yes,
choose
and
me?
see, you did
Why
it.
me? Why is this happening to me?
He's got a whole theme song
Yeah.
that we call the "Fuck Me" song.
Right. That's
Hey,
gonna
I've got
be-
a great idea. Fuck me.
I got an idea. What is it? Fuck me. I got an idea. What is it? Fuck me.
We're gonna
Yeah.
set it to music and a big
It's gonna be
choreography.
a
Dan.
music video.
That would be
Think
good.
the opening of Austin Powers.
And that would be him
Yeah,
dancing
him
around.
singing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. I would watch that.
The interesting
would.
thing about this stuff is that you have to be supremely confident, but
Supremely
just a
confident.
little bit less so that you're not arrogant.
Yeah, you can't be I mean, you don't. Yeah, you have to go into auditions saying, "I can get this job," not "I should" or "I no matter what
Deserve
will
it.
deserve it" or anything. Like, I mean, you don't know, and they may not be looking for you or your whatever you got to bring. So
If you have anything.
if you have anything, you're only as good as people start telling you, and as
Yeah.
good as.
Oh,
as-
whoa. You're only as good as people start telling you.
Well, that's not really true either sometimes because they can get negative out there. But
Also, you let people tell you what you have to offer. You
that's true. Let me digress. Let me take that back.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Great explanation.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, what did I say? You said you're only as good as people tell you.
Like,
You're only as good as people perceive you to be? Is
Yeah.
that...
in that like direction. I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta be careful. You can't just think you're as good as maybe what people say. But like, if the majority of people say you're not good, that's your problem.
How about this?
So
You have to believe you're good enough,
Yeah.
but you might not be right for that particular role.
sure, yes,
Also,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
So, yeah.
why you?
Why me?
Not necessarily why you, but what's the thought process when you said, like your dad said, why not me? Or what did your dad say?
Yeah, like you go into an audition, just like, why not me? Why
not me?
Why not
Yeah.
have? Yeah, why wouldn't?
So you just why not me all the way to California?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
you just have to. You just have to believe that
Why not me?
Why? I guess why
Yeah.
not? Why
Yeah.
not me? And why not? Can I get involved into that?
Some
industry
people
and
some
have a
people
role?
are chocked full of why not me without any of the training or skills or knowledge or experience required so that it would even be a possibility that would be them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go out there full of pipe dreams, and they get out there, and sometimes the tenacity of those people is very much like, we talked about, there was an actor in town, I can't remember the person's name, and we don't want to say their name anyway, but somebody who was literally just not good, but they're so tenacious. Why not me all the way to, I'm talking about, don't you?
Probably.
You're the one that told me about this person.
Yeah.
Why not me all the way to the point where they actually have some level of success. They get paid. They have work. They have work because they just are so bright-eyed with the why not me. Like they just don't give up. But there's a certain level where you don't ever ascend. You don't ever ascend past a certain point because you haven't taken the time to put in the actual work to get to be good at what your thing is. The craft part where you're gotten good at it.
Absolutely.
So you wanted to go to LA, and what did you do before you went to LA? Like you decided you wanted to take a swing at it, swing for the, what's it called?
Well,
the cheap seats? It's not the cheap seats.
Cheap seats.
So you asked him, what did he have to do to
What'd
prepare?
you do to prepare?
Because
Prepare.
I feel like you can't just go...
I did a lot, but there was more I could have done too, and especially after going there, I feel like I could have maybe done even more before I went. Not
Stuff
that I
you
went.
didn't even know about.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was still perfect timing in a way, but at the same time, I could have gotten maybe a few more things ready before I got there, definitely. But there
Like
was also
what?
things I did get ready. So
Like save more money before you go?
no, I felt good with that. I saved a good amount of money. I did pretty good with that. That part was taken care of. I saved for a while. I was chilling. I was pretty.
It was the funniest thing. You had a beat up car, and you were in Uber. You were driving Uber. I was like, if that car pulled up when I ordered as my Uber, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would still drive it too and do Uber. And
but that was like your thing. That was your commitment to like you didn't.
Yeah,
care.
and I tell you the story of the person who got my Uber in L.A. Right, the comedian, the famous comedian. No, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Tell that. When I was
I didn't hear it, but you teased
in my
it,
crappy
you gotta
car.
tell it.
Yeah.
No,
it's a funny story.
I was driving in some random night in the week, L.A. I
Just
go
doing your thing,
do my thing, trying to make it through.
Put food on the table.
And I get downtown L.A. to this bar, and it says Dr. Phil on the thing. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm picking up Dr. Phil. This is amazing. So
Well, if it was Dr. Phil,
I don't know what I was trying to think. What questions do I ask?
You're so fucking
Dr.
gullible.
Phil.
She's like, oh, I'm in LA. It could be Dr. Phil.
Could be Dr. Phil.
But if it was Dr. Phil,
there's no way it
do you
would be
think he
Dr.
goes
Phil.
around going, "Hi, I'm Dr. Phil. I'm Dr.
Yeah,
Phil. Nice to meet you,
I'm Dr. Phil. I thought
Do you think he's putting that in his
I
Uber?
thought he would get in the car and be like, hello,
How
I'm
are you
Dr.
doing?
Phil.
You think he's
How
so
are you
much
doing?
Dr. Phil that he's got Dr. Phil in his Uber
Dressed as
that
him and everything. I thought it was going to be full. I thought he was going to interview me like, hey, how's your health and how's
He
your
thought
mental health?
Oprah was going to be with him.
Oprah was going to be with him.
Yeah, okay.
I was ready for Dr. Phil.
Yeah, okay.
So I get to it was like an alleyway, like a bar.
Ew.
Dr. Phil's shady.
And he is okay. So then the person gets in the car. It's definitely Dr. Phil.
Not Dr. Phil.
And I look at him, and I realize it's Hannibal Buress, the comedian, is in my backseat of this crappy '05 Camry, which is hilarious. I mean, it's like I feel bad for the guy. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry. So I look back.
Because it's also got a discolored front.
Oh yeah,
left,
yeah. Luckily it was nighttime.
Like
but
a replacement
Oh, yeah.
side fender.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
like
There's a black quarter
a gray
panel
piece
and
of
everything.
you got it from the junkyard.
Yeah. So poor guy gets in.
and this guy, much to his credit, he actually went ahead and got in your car.
He got in.
Yeah.
Very humble man.
Very-
Very humble. So he gets in, and then I look back, and I'm like, you're not Dr. Phil. And he looks up, nope. And then we just kind of sat there in silence.
That's your story?
He's like, nope. And I'm like,
Okay.
You killed it,
all right,
man.
yeah.
You killed it,
and
man.
then later on, I was like, you're the comedian, right? It was just a brief thing, and then
Did you tell him
That
how
was
his
pretty much
TV
it.
show was shit? No. Oh.
no, I've heard different things.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
I didn't give any reviews.
How did you understand what he said? That guy mumbles like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Personal vendetta.
So, but it was crazy. So he got in, but that was like my closest, I guess, encounter.
And when he got out of your car, you were like, "I'm gonna make it."
I know. I was pumped. I was like, I'm right there. I'm right
6
there.
degrees of separation.
6 degrees of separation.
So,
Yeah.
so you're doing your thing out here in Orlando. You're getting ready to go. You're taking classes.
Yeah, I was saving up
You're-
money.
you're
I was
getting
taking
yourself
classes. I was
prepared.
getting mentally ready for this crazy move. Like all I know is Claremont, so that's crazy.
Claremont,
And
Florida.
Claremont, Florida.
Yeah.
And
For our international. listeners.
I was getting ready. I was doing independent stuff for a few years and this and that, and with you mainly.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
mainly
you're welcome
you
for that demo reel,
I
by
think,
the way.
I think mainly you.
What did we make? Three. What did we made? 3 films together.
We made
at this
3,
point.
like 3, yeah.
And you
3.
were in. You were momentarily in our
He
feature
helped
film.
us make
yeah.
our feature film.
Yeah,
too.
you helped us make our feature
Yeah, I
film.
was part of that.
mean,
So I did that stuff and just kind of really dove into the whole like industry and how to approach it and the what do you do next kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure I was pretty well versed before I did the jump, and that was how I guess got ready, and then I just did it. But again, I could have I would tell people if they're like trying to go out there and think about doing the acting thing or want to do it, get everything ready. Get some credits.
Like what? Your last
Like-
will and testament, or
Get credits on your resume for film, and get in front of the camera, and get your reel ready, your website, your yada yada, all that stuff before you get out there, because they're
Right.
going to be wanting to see what you can do.
Right,
And the type
because-
of actor you want to be too. And the more specific you are out there, and the person, I remember calling a guy who would tell me that the more specific you are out there, the faster you'll get to being successful, because they have all these actors. And sometimes I struggle with this too, because I get out there and I'm a little bit general in certain areas, and I need to still,
You're
need to get
basic
more
white
specific.
bitch.
Basic white bitch. So I need to be more specific. Definitely.
So can you be specific in
yeah.
explaining
So you're
what you
you're
mean
a,
by
you're
specific?
a white guy,
Yeah, like you, like,
and you
like,
used
if you
to
wanna
kind
do,
of have red hair, but you're not so. It's gotten darker the older you've gotten, unless you're dyeing it.
Specific,
and I didn't know about.
and this is like, I want to be if you want to be in a sitcom, and I want to
Yeah.
be the quirky, nerdy guy or girl in the sitcom.
You're saying if this isn't what you want to do.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
like just in,
Yeah.
like, as if that's your goal.
If you want to be
you
this
need to
show's
do
Kramer,
everything in your power to be that guy. Or say if you're kind of more of like a niche, funny character, like the cop or the firefighter guy. If you want to just be the firefighter, blue collar guy, do everything in your power to do that. Do firefighter, blue collar stuff. Write things for yourself that is that. Get photos that look like that. And
So
breathe through your
typecast-
breathe
mouth.
through your mouth.
You're
That
saying typecast yourself. ahead
typecast
of
yourself.
time?
People hate the idea of that,
Yeah.
and it is tough to do that. But the more you typecast yourself, the easier or faster you'll get to being good at that one thing.
Okay.
So you have to typecast your own self.
You do, and then
Yeah.
after after you get famous or whatever for what you're
Yeah.
good at doing, then they'll
Once you start working.
yeah, then they'll be like, oh, let's see what else you can do.
Yeah. If
But
you're
if-
lucky. If not,
if you're
you're
lucky
going to be
enough.
doing the same damn thing forever.
If you're lucky enough.
That
Like,
raises another question for me, though, because a lot of people, it's so hard to, like, one of the hardest things as a human to do is to be honest with yourself and be aware of yourself, like to see yourself as other people see you. I feel like it could be difficult to typecast yourself correctly, maybe sometimes, because someone might think, "Oh, I want to be a leading actor or whatever," but they don't look like it at all. No one would ever cast them as a lead. They look more like a supporting character or someone's best friend or something. So, is there some kind of a journey or a way that someone could help themselves to become more aware of how Hollywood would perceive them, or how an audience would perceive them, so that they're not trying to be something that they can't? Does that make
Like
any
somebody's
sense?
absolutely delusional, thinking that they're leading man type.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
But they're not.
action and shoot guns. and-
Like Brad walking in going,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Like, he might have
Yeah.
something to offer, but
Yeah,
it's
some
not
people
being
miss-
the next Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
you know how you do that? You go out in public, and it's literally an exercise we used to do. You go out
Yeah.
to a mall,
Uh-huh.
and you ask people, what car do you think I drive? What education do you think I got? What how old do I look? Or what
You just ask random people.
random people that have never met you, what they perceive you to be, and you'll start to figure out what kind of type of person you are, and the first impression is the best way of doing that.
When we came to see you
That.
one of the things you did before you left is you took a stand-up class.
yeah.
So you could see if you could learn how to be funny.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Didn't work, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which
it
is
was
not
interesting.
true, because it was funny, but it was funny
Yes.
for things that you weren't trying to.
It was funny because I couldn't remember the punchline, mainly.
Because you were up there, was it like 5 minutes? And in typical Maywright fashion,
longer.
when you were younger,
Yeah.
you weren't sure if you knew your lines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had it on my hand.
Yeah.
But
I was like,
right, there's at one point where yeah. So part of the thing about the stand-up class we went to, and when we watched your little stand-up showcase, everybody walked out there with their thing. Like, I'm a single divorced woman. Here's comedy based on that. For the first 5 minutes,
Yeah.
like, it's very much so. was that part of the stand-up thing you did, where you went out and you interviewed people, or
that was more the acting
class
part? But that's also, I mean, even in stand-up, if you're trying to be a stand-up comedian, you have to figure out your niche up there and what your character you're going to play. Because sometimes, a lot of times, it's not who you see up there is not who they actually are. It's kind of like a character they're playing.
Do you think it helped you?
The stand-up?
The stand-up, did it help you? What did it help you?
Jump into stuff that you're uncomfortable doing and try new things. I think people need to always be open to trying new things. And even if it sounds crazy, like that's not... Because a lot of people put themselves in a box and they go, no, this is me. I do this. Which is, how is that true? Like, you're that? Like, why are you just that? You haven't even tried all these other things. And you've already put yourself in a box and said, no, I just do this. I think people should be open to trying many, many things, especially when they're younger and they're not as trapped with responsibility. Joe Rogan was talking about on his podcast. Yeah, I think I told you this, but he talked about how most men live lives of quiet desperation, and a lot of that's because they get almost entrapped in responsibility, and whatever that means, they have a kid or they get married.
You could say human beings, not necessarily men, but people.
Men, and men is very generalized. That could definitely be the case for women too. But that's what it was. He was saying that once you stack up responsibility, the harder it is to start taking risks on what you want to do. Yeah, and usually the opportunity to prevent that quiet desperation where you literally just want to run from your life of the same old thing. The opportunity to fix that is usually when you're young and don't have a lot of responsibility. Sometimes when you're older and you still don't have a lot of responsibility, and maybe say your kids move out, or you have opportunity that opens up because responsibilities become less.
Well, that's where midlife crises come from. That's where extramarital affairs come from. That's where people just like losing their shit and like quitting their job with no net. Yeah. I felt that. I mean, I felt that myself before. I was standing at the foot of a mountain in Yosemite. I was there to see. See a wedding, to go to a wedding. And the day before I left, I went and I was walking around at, National Park. It was my first trip to that part of California, and I was at Yosemite, and I was standing there, and I had this very clear, I was by myself, I had this very clear image of me just walking into the woods and disappearing. Yeah. And that idea has fascinated me for a long time, and it had fascinated me before that, but that I had never had that feeling myself, where I was just standing there, and it's like you just feel like you're there, and you look at and it's this weird sensation you get when you can get when you're around nature and things that have been there for like particularly mountains, where you look at where I was looking at the mountain, I realized that mountain has been there for so long. My problems compared to how long this mountain is, my life is insignificant. Yeah. So, and it was like a moment of clarity. It wasn't even a negative. It wasn't a negative moment. It was a moment. It's like, oh, my life is insignificant. It doesn't mean anything. So that means my problems don't mean anything. All the bills that I'm struggling with. I'm standing here in California trying to figure out how I'm gonna, not recover from the trip, but it's like I've spent a lot of money out here on the trip. But it was like in that moment I was just by myself, and I was just me in the mountain. Yeah. There were dozens of tourists walking around, but it was just me in that mountain for a minute. And I had a very clear image of just, what if I just stepped into the wilderness here and like never came back out of there?
Well, you would die. You don't have any survival skills.
You don't know. You don't know. Tom Hanks did not know.
Naked and afraid, starring Becca Meyer.
Tom Hanks had coconuts.
Huh? He learned how to make fire. And he knew that he needed somebody to talk to, so he started talking to that fucking volleyball.
I'm your Wilson.
No, you're not.
No,
because if you floated away down the ocean, I would not be crying. I'd be like, good luck. So, okay. So, So you have to typecast yourself. This is good. That's good. That's good. That's a good little piece of advice. What have you typecast yourself as? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking like I'm still kind of figuring
What
that
are you
out.
thinking?
I actually preach it, but I struggle with it myself, and I think I'm still in that mode of figuring out exactly what it is that I will be doing specifically first.
You do know the clock is ticking, right?
It's always ticking.
Yep.
It's always ticking.
Your ovaries are riding
It's
away.
crazy how you learn how to write a screenplay, you learn how to make a movie, you learn how to edit something. It doesn't mean you have it figured out yet.
No, I don't think. I mean, it takes.
You never really know.
I feel like
'cause
if
the
you're
next project is another chance. If you're always being critical, not in a good way, not the way you.
I
do
think
it.
people figure. I think people figure it
You're
out.
always getting better as you go.
Yeah, I think people.
Your 10th film, your 11th film, 20th film, you're always getting better. Yeah.
I think people figure it out when they realize it takes your whole life to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when they actually figure it out, whatever that means.
So does that mean you'll be 50 and you still haven't typecast yourself yet because you haven't figured it out?
Well, you know, I'm not. That's a bad.
Bullshit advice is this. Telling me to do something I won't be able to do until I'm on my deathbed.
No, but that is the artist's process.
It's your whole life. I mean, you
that's
figure
the
it out
process
right
of-
before you, and you're like, oh, that's, and then, you know, that's when you figure it out. So you're always learning. You're always.
Well, you should be. If you're not, if
you have
you're
to have
not-
a student. You have to have a student mentality for life. Always.
Yeah, if you're not always learning, you have
You stop growing.
Yeah, you haven't done anything to challenge yourself.
That's what happened
So-
to me.
Yeah, you're not
I stopped learning a long time ago.
right because you make a film. You're like, okay, we got that one done, and you can be appropriately proud of it or happy with it or anything like that. Even our feature film, Brad and I, when we made Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward, we knew how to make a movie. We'd done short films. We'd made okay short films, decent short films, and we were happy with it. But we knew that in a way, making a feature film was like the ultimate goal. And in a way, it was taking a step forward.
Yeah.
But it was also taking 2 steps back because sustaining quality control over the course of a 10 or 15 minute short film or an 8-minute short film is nothing compared to sustaining it over an hour and a half and figuring it out that way. So we knew what we were doing, but in a way we did not know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is having to be okay with that. Too many people sit around and wait for the perfect moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which never exists.
But also, the moment you step on set to make that feature film that you've never made before, that just means the next time you do it, you'll be better.
Yeah.
As long as you have that mindset of like, the more you know, the less I know. The more, you know what I mean? It's like the more I know, you start to realize that really means I don't know anything.
Yes.
Because you're
the
still
more
figuring
you
it out.
learn, the more you realize.
The less you know.
The less you know.
Yeah.
Unless you know.
So it is funny that by writing one screenplay that is maybe total shit, the next one's going to be less shitty.
Yeah.
The next one's going to be less, and you finally reach a point where you're like, okay, I'm happy with that one, but there's still this, like there's still something missing. You can go in and retweak that thing, but at the same time, the next time you sit down with in front of a completely blank page, you have the potential for it to be better than ever. Yeah. So you're still figuring it out.
You're still figuring it out. Yeah, definitely. For me, definitely still figuring it out. We'll see what happens.
What else? What else did you do to prepare before you even got out there?
Got out there.
You hit the gym.
Do you have like?
You go to the gym a lot. You do.
Thank you.
Pretty much every day, right? Yeah, you stay fit.
A little
You
bit,
stay
just a
in
little
good
bit,
shape.
just a little bit.
It's part of your commitment to your
Oh
utensil.
yeah, just stay
your
healthy.
tool.
I think actors should, people that are in acting and stuff should just. You're sometimes moving a lot, or you're doing it just to stay healthy.
It's your it's the vessel. It's your tool.
Yeah, the tool you'll use. You know,
So you don't walk out with a broken, shitty hammer
absolutely,
unless you're Brad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your body is a broken hammer, Brad.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
So yeah, stay healthy and
Well,
emotionally too.
I mean,
Spiritually.
is there anything that you've learned like that you would do different now that you from your first couple times that
Couple times moving out there.
if you could go back to your first time going, would you change something? Would you tell yourself anything different?
I would tell myself to stay patient, and know that, on the other side of fear, remind myself on the other side of fear, God has his greatest blessings. And that for me was always something that, when it became the unknown, especially in the beginning, the first time, there was so much unknown. I knew that if I just had faith in it, said, you know what, I'm just going to go. That was what put me at ease. Mm-hmm. And you have to jump. You just have to go right into the unknown and hit it square in the face.
What's that
and
saying?
Beautiful things will happen.
Success lies on the other side of fear, I think is something.
Yeah.
Your dreams lie on the other side of fear, meaning you have to constantly be pushing past.
Yeah.
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 So, you had a pandemic happen right in the middle of your move.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was already hard.
It was already hard. It was like already hard. I would talk to you and you're like, I don't know, man. It's
hard. I think I
might be back to Florida before I know.
And then that was like, whoa.
Yeah. And because, you got out there and like just everyday things like real estate is astronomically expensive. And it's one of the reasons so many people are like leaving California.
It's so expensive. Super expensive.
I have another friend who was out there, Rob, our composer friend. He said that the census this year revealed that 2020 was the first time in 100 years that California did not have more people living in it. There were actually less people living in it than the last census.
Yeah.
And that's the first time in 100 years that's been true. It's always been growing. And you were in a 1-bedroom apartment
with like 4 other people.
With 2 other people. and it was still like, the rent was astronomical just so you guys could have a bed to sleep in.
It
not
was
together.
Lot. Yeah, separate. Different loft beds. But yeah, it was
I saw Rob sent me an ad the other day. It's like, here's this it was like a 320-foot apartment. We're talking like maybe the size of these 2 rooms we're in right here. And it was $2,000 a month.
Amazing.
What the fuck?
I was going to move into like a 250 square foot apartment or something.
Yeah.
The one that I almost did.
Yeah.
Studio for like $1,100 a month, which actually was decent for LA, but that sucks.
It's a decent price, but
for
not a decent amount of space.
No,
it's that price. Oh, that's low. What's wrong with the place?
Yeah,
it's like what's wrong with it?
Yeah, this room is bigger. So yeah, it's hard. And people don't. I mean, they get just the homesickness gets crazy, and they go, oh yeah, I'll be fine, but then they get out there and then they realize they miss it.
I can only imagine because it's so hard to just barely survive.
And especially if they come from a small town.
It would definitely make you want to go home. Yeah. It's like, it's part of the thing. It's like you have to it's the resistance thing we were talking about. You have to, that has to happen to you it's what the universe is sending to test you. How much do you really want it?
Absolutely.
And sometimes you think, I want it, but I don't want it LA bad. Yeah,
a lot of people don't want it LA bad. I get it. And you know what? It's like I get it. People tell me I want to do this, but I'm not going to move over there. And that may hurt maybe their opportunities, definitely. Mm-hmm. But some people just don't want to have that level of crazy success, which is okay. People would rather do other things and have success in other ways. Mm-hmm. It may not be being, rich and famous and the biggest A-list actor in the world. It could be just doing like community theater and doing commercials and smaller films around their hometown. And that's fine. I think people they'll have contentment as long as they're honest with themselves with what they want out of the industry itself or anything in life. Like there's sacrifice. Those people that are the Bezos and all those people, like some of them don't even see. Yeah, you did it. Some of them don't even see their kids ever. They don't. They have no family time. They're always working. So there's a lot of sacrifice in doing the thing that everybody wants to do, there's a lot of sacrifice in that, and sometimes it's not the most fun for people, and they realize, that's really not what I want to do. And I totally get that.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's also a good idea when you went out there with a little bit of a production background because you went to a TV production school, so you went out there with the ability to not just act, you could get with some other actors and make a short film or something.
You did that. And in the 6 months before he got sent home, he made a short film.
Yeah, I did that.
Have you seen a short film?
Not yet.
But
it's okay.
I'm thinking, but I'm thinking as far as for giving advice for going to California, I feel like you need to go there with the mindset of, if I need to produce or if I need to write or something, I'm going to go make stuff. I'm not just going to wait and only do auditions. I'm going to meet people and make some things and not just sit around and wait for someone to say, oh, you're worthy.
You have to stay busy. You have to keep creating, keep writing, keep your chops up. I tell people I like to stay in at least a scene study class out there is huge. Just even once a week will keep you somewhat warm as an actor, because a lot of times there's a lot of downtime. And that's what freaks people out. There's so much downtime. It's majority downtime, especially when you're starting out.
Well, there's a lot of time to be alone with your thoughts.
Alone with your thoughts.
So you're sitting there what the,
Yeah, you have to stay busy.
You know what that's like. Except you're never really alone with your thoughts because everybody knows what you're thinking.
His thoughts are alone with him. His thoughts are alone with him.
Yeah, your thoughts can go. But the downtime really messes with me too, because I'm a director, so what happens is I only get to direct a movie when we get a movie put together. I'm a producer, but I'm a filmmaker. Yeah, it's not like and I've had a hard time in the periods of time where we aren't making something, where I feel like, am I never going to do this?
You start going crazy.
Yeah, I get stir crazy, like Cabin Fever or something.
I got to write. We got to make something. Brad, I just wrote something. We got to make it now. Okay.
It used to be it would be fine if I would sit down and write, and I would satiate my need to be creative through writing, but I realized that I am a writer separate from being a filmmaker, and anytime we are making something, I always feel a little rusty on day one, because I haven't done it in so long. And that is, but if you want to run a marathon, you don't go out and run the marathon, you train for that shit.
Absolutely.
And so it's hard I've found it hard to have downtime. And you can sharpen your storytelling skill, but directing is so much more than telling a story. You got to work with crew and actors and deal with Brad and that stuff. And it's hard. And it does fuck with your head.
It does.
It definitely fucks with your head.
When you can't stay creative as a creative person. Yeah. It will kill you. Your heart will stop beating. It's like when you lose those people that are old and they lose their loved one. That's what kept their heart beating, and then they go, and then the next one goes. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, similar. Sorry. Similar.
It did.
Your heart will stop beating.
It did just hit me though. You went out there, and we talked about how you were only out there for 6 or 7 months before you had to move back. But you did. You got out there. You met people. You wrote something.
It felt a lot longer because
you wrote something and got something shot and produced while you were there, and it was almost completely done by the time you moved back.
Yeah, so I was proud.
So that's 6 months.
Yeah, the 7 months or whatever I was there. I was happy. I was very humbly proud of what me and others involved were able to do, and myself to make sure I get involved with different classes and meet people, and it worked out. I was able to plant a good amount of seeds and meet a lot of people.
And you saw what it was like as a producer because you produced your.
That's
and you produced it, and you realized that sometimes the producer is like a silent partner in almost every aspect because you had to write the script, you acting, directing, and when you were almost done with thing, you were the one that finished it out here, put a final touches on the music and the score and stuff, and going back and forth because your producing partners and your director were in LA.
Yeah, we were on the phone. Jordan Sanders, great friend that I met out there. was amazing. He helped. He was the producer with his team that came out. I was the money, but he was the guy who came out. And
do you think that made you a better actor? Producing that film.
Seeing all aspects of the process, definitely.
Check,
is there a message or something?
Yeah, somebody.
Oh, somebody's talking.
Oh, who's talking?
So Maywright and I will continue talking. Okay. So you think it made you a better actor going through that process?
Yeah, when you see all aspects of it, it helps. You want to be in great communication with all the pieces when you're doing it. I think a director should take an acting class. Actors should take a directing class. I think people should be in unison, knowing exactly where everyone's coming from.
We just made something. Brad and I made something. I'm a filmmaker. We're filmmakers, but Brad has done more acting than me, and I'm way less interested in acting than Brad is. But we decided to make something, just me and him, together, which means we were doing the shooting, the lighting, the acting, all the stuff. So we wrote the script with blah blah, and it was definitely. And I've done this before, but it had been a while. A real learning experience, experientially, as a director, to be directed by someone else. Yeah. And the times that I have acted, a lot of times I've been my own director. Yeah. And it's way easy to tell myself what to do. It's like I know exactly what to do. But trying to pull out of him what he wants from me and trying to get him to pull out of me what he wanted, we just decided he's going to be the director and we'll both act. Yeah.
And also we're doing everything like lighting.
Yeah.
We're both acting in it. We're both sort of producing. We're both trying to learn lines. Yeah. Trying to get you were the DP. What I loved is I think we raised our lighting game.
Yeah, we shot what we did is we sort of got back in touch with some of the stuff that we blow through when we are on set because we're like when we made our film really pathetic and totally awkward, we shot in 9 days. That's 115 pages in 9 days, which is crazy, but we didn't spend a lot of time on set tweaking shit. We didn't have time for it. But this thing, we were doing a film by ourselves with each other during a pandemic. We had time to sit there and like meticulously dial into thing.
And we had lenses and we had.
And I think for me at least, it made me a better director, even though I wasn't directing. It made me a better. It helped get me back in touch with all aspects of the thing. Yeah. And I really think that you're right. It's like I'm glad you got out of that because what you could have done. A producer that I worked with once, we made a short film together and. That person has never produced again because the process was so, I didn't know what I was getting myself into sort of thing. And I'm like, well, for me, I was like, yeah, it's what it's like. It's like I was used to it and I'm proud of the thing we made. But it could have gone that way for you. So
yeah, it went really well. It was a really smooth process. It was great. Everyone involved, if they end up watching this, they were amazing.
Is it online somewhere? Or are you still sending it out to festivals? You're not online yet.
No, I mean Orlando. If it goes to an Orlando Film Festival, it gets in. It may not. We'll see. Yeah. Then I'll fly back for that in October. If not, then I'll probably post it like December-ish on YouTube.
So you know what you need to do now. When you get back out there, you have now 6 months to make another short film.
Another short film. We'll see. We'll see.
Do it.
I got to raise the money again if I do that.
So you want to talk about getting an agent?
Yeah, that was great. That was
thing.
Really cool.
You got an agent during the pandemic while you were on the other opposite coast.
While I was here, I think that never happens. If you're not there, they usually don't sign you. But because of the pandemic and they know that everybody went home and was planning on coming back, they were at least open to the idea of signing people out of state.
Yeah.
As long as there was that future base of
moving back.
Yeah. But yeah, and there was so many. It's so funny because like I got it, but there was, it was like 50 agents that I applied for, and one agent offered me
the last one. Was it like
not the last one? But,
no, it wasn't literally the last one. Yeah.
But it's funny because like you get the agent, that's exciting. But it took 49 no's. Yeah. To get that one yes from the agent to go, hey, I believe in your talent. I want to work with you and work together and see what we can do.
Are you sure she wasn't just desperate?
Probably was just desperate and felt bad for me. She probably saw the acting. Was
look at this kid. He doesn't even have a type yet.
He doesn't even have a type. He doesn't know what he's doing. I just throw him in there. He'll probably do some.
First of all, how did it make you feel? Because the big thing when you first get started is everybody's like, oh, you got to get an agent. You got to get an agent. And then there's like this. You ascend into that level where you have an agent. And out here we have a lot of what I would call like
commercial agents mainly. I mean, they get you some. You can get some theatrical stuff, and I know people who have booked, especially in Atlanta from here. But a lot of it's commercial mainly.
Yeah,
Florida's a great. It's actually the number 3 commercial state in the country. So it's a really nice market for that. For modeling and commercial work over here. But yeah, theatrically, it's
what. That's not real acting. You still had to go to California.
I'm not answering that. You're trapping me. No, it's whatever, you know.
My dog is circling every single camera.
Tripping over
I'm surprised she hasn't knocked anything over yet. Anyway.
But what were we saying?
Well, we were talking about getting an agent and how...
agents and stuff. You don't have to initially, too. People are they're rushed to get a headshot. They're rushed to get an agent. They're rushed to da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, and I think Steve Martin said, he's like, why rush to be good first? Like, rush to be a good actor. Like, start getting good at the thing before you get all the business
and you can get
tools involved.
In the local filmmaking in your whatever area you're in. That will help you get good.
Get warm, get good, get going. Not as green, because you got a lot of green people that are green that get over there, and then the first impression is huge. So there's a fine line. Obviously, they know that you're inexperienced, but the first impression out there is pretty important. You don't want to be completely naive to the industry and what's going on.
You came back a different person. You came back from LA a different person. Not in a bad way, but from our conversations that we've had over the year that you've been back. And
more traumatized?
Yeah. Well, yeah, more traumatized. But no, you went out there.
We're distressed.
You were just talking about being green. And like, I know you probably, you are still green.
I'm still green. I'm still learning. I'm definitely green.
And in many ways, I am still, and Brad, like we all are in different ways. But you went out there, but you did, even in that 6 or 7 months, you did become more professional, skilled, experienced person, and you didn't get one acting job.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I did.
Did you really?
I booked a couple things, but they were like very independent stuff, you know, nothing crazy. I didn't get anything crazy.
Yeah.
So
no offense to the independent.
No, but it was, it was student. It was like a student. It was one student thing, and like a.
So you did. I don't think I knew that.
Extra thing for this one thing, like that was kind of neat because they had like these fake cigarettes, and you'd smoke this herb. It was kind of a cool
the herb
cigarette thing.
You know, it's in California. They herb.
No, it wasn't herb, but herb. It wasn't herb, but.
But when you came back, just from going through the process of, you told me some of the stuff you do every day. Like you get up every morning, you submit everything you can on all the different acting websites.
It's robotic. It's like you could do a lot for yourself like that.
Right. You did all that stuff. And when you came back that person who not only had worked hard and figured out how to leave, to break out of the bubble of your familiar
comfortable
childhood,
very comfortable
childhood, and you went out there and you did the hard thing, and then you got out there and you were starting to learn how to grind it out. It was interrupted. You had to put pause.
At that point, I felt in that March, I was like, all right, we're getting
starting to get some
the
momentum.
rhythm, the routine of it was starting to settle in. I was like, okay.
And do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like you were submitting to, and this, we're going through all this not to hear because you're doing it exactly right, but it's like this is the stuff that you have to do.
I wish I could say I was. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes.
The stuff you have to do
on that journey
to give yourself the opportunity to maybe get in front of the right person to start doing the thing. So what are you doing every day when you wake up?
In LA.
In LA, yeah.
It was like
before the world shut down.
Before the world shut down. Yeah, I mean, it was the day had no no breaks. But then that was an issue too because you would start to burn out a little bit. You were so, and for myself, you were so motivated, which was great, but you were so opposed to enjoying the city or seeing certain things for
Yeah, because
fun.
it was a new
or-
place too.
Yeah, like you're so focused, you almost ended up, in some ways for myself, burning out a lot. Where you're like, I gotta take that little mini vacay or I need to maybe consider meditating or something, because you get so robotic out there and the pace is so fast. It's hard to keep up. It's a huge rat race. It really is. But yeah, a lot of it was working and auditioning and classes and training and all. It was just boom, 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 boom. So
Yeah, and
a
you
lot of Starbucks coffee dates with myself. So
that's right. You used to call me from Starbucks
all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
yeah, all the time. That was my spot. I would go there and get a lot done.
Yeah.
At Starbucks.
So you hardened yourself. I guess it's kind of like somebody goes to the gym every day. You went to the gym for 6 months, and you were just then starting to get into like shape. The world got shut down. You had to come back here. What have you done to? Have you still
Maintained?
submitted as much?
There's been moments of me pushing and like keeping the rhythm of or keeping warm in terms of the acting thing and auditioning.
Yeah.
And then there's been moments of me not doing that, definitely. And that was a lot of going through like the emotional part of the year where you're completely unmotivated to do anything at all, especially when there's no.
We put so much pressure on ourselves to be productive.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for a while there was nothing. It's not like Tom Cruise didn't get back to work. Tom Cruise got back to work, but he's Tom fucking Cruise. Anthony fucking Maywright and Michael fucking Beckemeyer and this fucking guy over here. It's hard for us to get back to work because we don't have the resources or the money or the budget or whatever to say, oh, well, we're just going to have all the COVID restrictions covered on our set. Blah, 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 blah. It was harder for us to do that. It was easier to just like not make something.
Yeah.
And we tried it a couple of times. Brad and I made the little short film together by ourselves. We're in each other's bubble.
Yeah.
You know, anyway, because we live here. And the short film that we made was the one we made with the group of us back about a year ago now.
Yeah.
Was very nerve-wracking for me, knowing that COVID was a thing and somebody could get sick and all this stuff. It really wasn't as fun as it should be being on set. So it wasn't worth the stress and worry. So you just had to play a waiting game. And not
a lot of it was a waiting game.
And push past all the psychological parts of, like you were saying, being patient. When you said you got to be patient. So what do you do when you have, now that you have an agent, you're going to go out there, you're going to get the ball rolling again?
Yeah, as much as I could.
Do you have to wait for them to send you out on stuff?
You do. They don't like, one second. They don't like it when you double submit. So I don't have to submit myself to these auditions like I did. They'll handle that, which is nice. But a lot of people think too, it's up to the agent to go and get you all the work ever. And that's not really true either. You have to stay busy, you have to stay creative, you have to stay updated on your websites and your social media and different things and meeting people and networking and all that. And your agent helps. Agents literally are there to actually negotiate contracts. That's really what they're there for. That's it. And they have some doors that they open to. And I'm sure it's going to be awesome working with the one I'm at now. So I'm excited to see what that world is, but I don't really know that world. It's like really the first one, the real agent that I've had, at least the
you guys got partnered in the middle of the thing where nothing was happening. You're lucky that it even happened then, because nothing was happening. So you guys don't even really know each other.
Not yet. But I'm excited. And she was very nice. The woman, Teresa's her name, and really, really nice, and seems like she's ready to go. And we'll see.
So, in conclusion, you're going back. You came back here, stayed for a while, and you're gonna what do you call it? Risk everything and go back again.
Yeah. He's gonna slip the surly bonds.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack up the car.
Up. Never surrender.
Never surrender. People, never give up. Keep pushing.
If you had, we ask this a lot before we wrap up. If you had three 3 tips to give somebody who wants to go out there, what would you tell them?
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay patient.
Mm-hmm.
And stay hungry.
It's bullshit. Say something else.
Is that too
doesn't
Susan?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's the best I can come up with.
I'm just kidding. Man, I'm gonna miss picking on you.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will.
You will. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. I know you did.
And never give up. Never give up. That's the fourth thing. Never give up.
I only asked for 3 though.
I know, but never, no matter what. I mean, even if it's not acting, I tell people never, ever give up on God's plan for you. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's my ending thing.
I feel like I need to throw another fuck in there so it doesn't seem like a God
a
God
What
cast.
about my plan for me? My plan,
Your plan is to play video games and watch YouTube.
I never feel good enough to play a video game. The only thing I ever feel good enough
I got him started.
to do is to make films and do productions. It's the only thing that gives me life.
Playing video games is a lot easier than making a movie.
It's just like
All right, well that's it for this time. If you want to, so let's get Maywright to give his info again. Where do people find you?
Find me on Instagram, Anthony Maywright, MAYWRIGHT. Also website anthonymaywright.com. IMDb. Just keep up and reach out if you have any questions ever. If you call me, I promise. If you
don't give your number.
I'm not giving my number, but if you reach out and want to call and talk, I will call you more than I will text you back. That's weird, but that's what I do.
I'm the opposite. So. Text me first.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this time. If you want to contact us, we are Beckemeyer on all the social media. Balding Ewok. Our website is smuentertainment.com. And send us an email at filmeverypodcast@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You can move out now, and I've gotten everything I need.
And
from
I already miss you. Mainly Brad.
Right. Film Reverie Podcast is a production of Super Mega Ultra Entertainment and is produced by Michael Beckemeyer and Bradley Kingston. If you're enjoying this podcast, please be sure to leave us a 5-star review in iTunes and be sure to click like or subscribe wherever you find us. That's it for this time. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Film Reverie.